Mhm. Okay. Thank you so much for speaking with me. This show, I have so many questions. I'm like, I'm like having thoughts and theories and everything.
Yes.
So the first episode opens with you. You are Shanice. We do know that you was missing in 2005. You had a kid. You have a kid. You had a husband. But what the thing is that you've been gone for 16 years, and unfortunately, that side of the family has kind of moved on because they thought that you walked out on them initially. My question is, when you see them for the first time, as Shanice, what is those feelings like?
Well, when I see that my daughter is 16 years old, it's like, one, you're beautiful, but also, and you in the character world, you look like me, and like, all of that stuff. But it's also like, how is it possible that just how is this all possible? Because this whole situation is so incredulous, and it's just unbelievable that literally, 2 days before she finally sees him for the first time, her baby was 4 months old. Mm-hmm. So to know, it's hard to even wrap her head around the fact that 16 years have passed, and she doesn't even know what happened in those 16 years. She doesn't know, did her daughter get her period yet? Like, what has her experience been like with like her hair? Just like, what is this human being that is foreign to me? What life have they led? And like, just who are you? Who are you? And then also seeing my husband and with his new wife, that's heartbreaking, because Logan, my husband, he had 16 years to process everything. Shanice is now being confronted with this, in 2 days, literally 2 days before, she was in love with her husband. They were figuring out, parenthood, and also still, trying to be individuals and go after the goals and things that they want for themselves, as well as together as a union. And then it's like, for her, it's almost like she was cheated on initially. That's the initial sort of response. And there's a sense of betrayal there. There's a feeling of betrayal. And also a helplessness, because she don't know what the heck happened.
Right. Now, here's the thing. When you saw the new wife for the first time, it was a look like, yes, it was shock, surprise, hurt. Did you know her? Does Shanice know her?
No, Shanice doesn't know her.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, ooh, it was the best friend.
No, Shanice doesn't know. But I think like a lot of Twitter, they're shocked that, of course, like, okay, like, yeah, you remarried, but also like a white woman. Oh my gosh. There's like another, and I don't know exactly what it is either, but there is another level of like hurt in that. That clearly a lot of Twitter is also experiencing, through Shanice. Yes.
Yeah, I understand completely. Now, one of the things is that you run first to your old babysitter. Can you explain as to why Shanice, of all the people, would remember the babysitter and not say, I know dad is not in the picture, because you made that very clear in the show. Mom, is your sister, brother?
No, Shanice, her dad is not in the picture. Her mom is also currently not in the picture. But Mrs. Grover, who's the old babysitter, Mrs. Grover is like a second mom, like a grandma to Shanice. So that's the first person that she runs to, because that's a person that who has been with her, her whole life. Miss Grover has known Shanice since she was a baby. She changed Shanice's diapers. So that's Mrs. Grover's home is safety, it's warmth, it's comfort, it's love, understanding, all of that.
Now, I know that you can't talk about superpowers, what you have, what you don't have, but it seems to me that people so far exhibited superpowers that benefit the situation that they're in. We do know that there was a scene that you had with the actress who plays, so sorry, I forgot her name completely. Yes, Mildred. Mildred Bell. We do know that you had the conversation with her, and that scene. It was a really long embrace. Can you say whether or not you will start showing signs in the next episode, or is it more down the line of any superpowers at all? You can't answer that.
See?
Okay, we'll see. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so then here's this then. Mm-hmm. What superpower do you think that Shanice would have that would benefit her in this moment?
That would benefit her in this moment. The power to make people do, like, to command people and make them do exactly what she wants them to do.
I like that very much. Yeah. Now, we also know that Shanice has formed a quick, maybe, bond with Jharrel. Will we continue to see that relationship? And because he really did help you. Mm-hmm. Will we continue to see that kind of?
Yeah, you'll see. I mean, you'll see a relationship with the folks that. You'll see a relationship grow between Shanice and the folks that work with the government agents. Mm-hmm. That relationship is definitely rocky at first. There's a lot of distrust just in the way that the government is sort of looking at the 4400. It reminds me of the phrase innocent until proven guilty. And we know, like, in this present day society, a lot of times it's guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
And in this case, the government is really looking at the 4400 as alien until proven human.
Right.
So she's constantly fighting that. And even, people like Jharrel, who seem to have a good heart, he still works for the government. So there's a lot of trust that needs to be earned. And you'll see the relationship will thrive, the relationship will fall. There's a lot of stuff that'll go. I'm trying not to spoil it.
Right, I understand. But here's the thing. Shanice did form somewhat of a conversation with the doctor. So is it better that they form rapport with themselves as opposed to the outside forces of the government, people that's keeping them captive?
I think they will all realize that they need each other. The folks who are able to see, who do have the capacity to empathize with the 4400 and just have some type of compassion for them, I think we'll all realize that we kind of need each other in order to get their freedom, get the 4400's freedom, essentially. As in regards to Andre, he and I definitely, you can expect to see mine and his character get closer throughout the series, because Andre's, World War I vet and was a doctor in the war. So he has this innate sort of desire to heal people and help people and just make sure that their health is in check. And similarly, Shanice has the same desire to service the 4400, but it's a little bit different in that she's a lawyer. She knows what their rights are and when the government is infringing on those rights. So she, becomes an advocate for the 4400. So they're both serving the 4400 in different ways, and they kind of band together to do that.
Can you say what her purpose would be for this show? It seems like everyone has a purpose and they know what they may not know right now, but what they're there for. Can you kind of allude to what her purpose is for the group?
All I can say is that Shanice definitely steps into a leadership role for the 4400. She advocates for them. She fights for them, tooth and nail, with her words. She's a lawyer with her words. There are other characters that will, okay. So there's a hint.
Okay.
It gets wild. But yes, Shanice definitely emerges as a leader. And then we also kind of see the toll that takes on her, because she's dealing with the personal side of things of, like, I want to get to know my daughter, but does she want to get to know me? Will my husband allow me to form a relationship with my daughter? How can I repair the relationship with my husband? Does he still want me? Also, he is 16 years older than me now. So, like, there's all of that she's trying to sort out. And that's a lot in and of itself. But she's also, because she has this desire to empower those around her and to serve those around her, she steps into this leadership role. And that carries a lot of weight as well. So you see her sort of struggle with the two throughout the series.
Okay. So also during that embrace with Mildred, the cameras moved the other way and the door opened and you quickly was like, let's go. Will you reflect on that moment and be like, that was kind of weird? What is going on?
In the moment, as Brittany looking, watching the show, like, yeah, it's like, Shanice, you didn't catch that? You didn't think that was a little convenient? But I think Shanice she's a mama bear. She only had her daughter for 4 months, but again, she fights for the people that she loves and her family. And that's all her mind is set on. So once that door opens, that's an opportunity to go and reconnect with the people that she has lost. So that's all that's on her mind. So she doesn't even process like, that was a little convenient the way that door just opened up and the light, just kind of came in, you know what I mean? So she's just focused on getting back to her cub, her baby.
Right. Now, Will, my thing is that I know you probably don't know the full story. You probably didn't get the full scripts yet to know what's going on.
I don't even know what's going on in the season finale. We still filming.
Oh, snap. So
I don't know nothing.
Was there any theories that you had along the way that were quickly dispelled?
Yes.
Can you say?
No.
Okay.
It's funny because us, the actors, we have theories all the time, and like we'll run them by each other of like, this person's power will like make this person do X, Y, and Z, and this is going to be the consequence, and this is who's going to sort of get in between and all of that stuff. We talk about that stuff all the time. And then when our showrunners or the writers are on set, we'll like come up to them and be like, okay, so what's happening in this season finale? No, so you're not going to tell us? Okay, great. So here's what we think. And then the thing that I always do is I'm like, I know you can't say anything because they're very tight-lipped about the storyline. Right. But the thing that I always do is I'm just like, listen, I know you can't tell us anything. So you don't have to tell me anything. You don't have to verbalize anything. Just, I'm going to throw some ideas out there. Blink once for yes, blink twice for no. If I'm getting hot, I'll try to do that. And they never budge. They never budge.
Okay, so Brittany, what is it about Shanice that you love, you found empowering, that you love portraying on screen?
She's such a bold person. She's so confident in who she is and what she's capable of doing. She has such a strong moral compass. And she's just not afraid to take up space. It's her first day back to work, in the beginning of the pilot. It's her first day back to work after being on maternity leave for a few months and also still trying to juggle the workload of working at this corporate law firm. And she knows that her boss isn't very fond of her. And it's her first day back, isn't fond of her being pregnant. And it's her first day back, and homegirl is in a red power suit. And she just exudes this confidence despite, the fact that, she may not be wanted in the spaces that she occupies, but she's going to occupy them nevertheless. And her presence, she will make her presence known, and her contributions will be of value. And I admire that so much about her. And I think I was kind of hoping that that my life would imitate the art that I'm trying to create in portraying this character. And maybe, some of that confidence and that security of self would, seep into me. I'm 23 years old. I'm growing into myself, into my career, into my artistry. And I would love to walk into, any room that I occupy with that level of confidence. So I admire that about her. I also think, the way that she fights for the people that she loves and her dedication to community and family, I admire that so much. And I also, that resonates with me. I fight for my family all the time, and I'm huge on support systems and community. So that aspect of her really resonated with me.
Okay, I love that. Wonderful. And very lastly, there was the letter that you had the postpartum depression that Shanice had, and it was found by the husband. Was that found conveniently, or was that really just found?
It was found. It takes time for it to be found, but it was found. And then that sort of shifts Logan's world. I'll say that.
Okay. Thank you so much for speaking with me. The show is so much fun. I look forward to what's going on and more in your career. You're so young.
Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Take care, Dana.
Thank you.